Hey everyone, this is Cody Wilcoxon again, talking about another scripted element of the UW animation Capstone. Now, what I'm talking about today is not actually a tool. What I'm going to be talking about today is this. This is the MARS system. So this is the Modular Auto Rigging System, MARS. And what it is it is a module of scripted components that auto-rig essentially any character or prop rig that you would like. So really quick, let me talk about what's going on here. So we have our basic modules. We have Mars, and we have Mars utilities that are split off from Mars. We also have the GUI module. All three of those are responsible for essentially taking this character in its current state, which is unrigged, unskinned, and turning it into a fully fleshed out character in minutes. Now, when it comes to the skinning script, there's only one thing I got to talk about, which is this is the waitlist tool from one of my previous videos, and it has both save skin weights functionality and load skin weights functionality. But the way I wrote the load weights function is it's able to run independent of the actual tool. So we won't be needing this. Goodbye. And it runs here at first. So the way I set this up is I tend to create any blend shapes and add them to the character if there are any. I also will run the skinning script and do any corrections to the joint orientation if I need to beforehand. Next, I create a rig. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the auto rigging script, and really quick, this is the script that is actually running. It's just taking from the Mars utilities and running a script as it goes, and I'm going to be talking over it while it actually does its thing because it takes a long time. So I'll just click that, and you can see immediately it's beginning to start to skin the character. So by the time this is over, it will skin the character, then it'll run through all of these components that I have set up over the years, and it will create a fully fleshed out character, ending with bringing in the custom control shapes that I have made in a separate file and adding a texture to them if they're NURBS, or changing the color if they're just like a NURB spline. So what these do, and I hope this the constant skin weighting percentage doesn't become annoying, but bear with me, it is only temporary. So what's going to happen is it's going to go through, add the corrections, the blend weights, and the skin first. I'll move this over. And then you create a character rig. Now, as soon as you create this character rig, you're essentially creating the primary one and any separate ones. So these separate ones would be to separate out the face, the body, and in this case, the hat. Now, if this is a game character or some kind of character where there's like a prop or a weapon, you could do that as well. Really, the limit is up to your imagination. From there, we go a little lower, and you can see that we have some other elements too. I'm going to go here because this is where the body starts coming up. So from here, you have your basic components, a cog chain, and right here, I want to emphasize the pattern of how these modules work. Typically, what you get, and it's going to bring up a little window in a second. Yep, there it is. You have a pattern of specifying a variable, okay? And then you identify the component name. You give it a side, center, left, or right. You give it a name. You give it a start point and an end point. And then you have your custom variables. Your custom variables will specify, is it translatable? Is it connecting to another component? If so, what component is it connecting to and where? What rig is it connecting to? Etc., etc. And the reason it's for all these extra variables is because it's going to create a network of sorts. Now, it looks like it's almost about done, and I'll explain how that network works in just a second, but I want you to see how this works because it's really fun to watch. It's going to bring in the custom anim shapes in a separate file, import them, and replace the default ones that are created automatically with the script. And here it goes. It's so fun. This is my favorite part. When it gets to this point, you know the script has run its course and it's done it correctly. Awesome. So let's talk about why the need for network connections. Well, the reason you want a network connection is to essentially make a hierarchy of sorts that you can access for this character. And why do we need to access this hierarchy? Well, so we can have our little marking menu here work to its full capacity. So what do we need to do with this? Well, first and foremost, we have the ability to select a few things. So if I wanted to, I can select one control in a component, and I can choose to select the whole thing. So now I can select every anim in the spine without having to do the extra clicks and hold shift. I could do the same thing here if I wanted to select all these. Oops. Component. Okay. Oops. I picked the clavicle and not the actual arm. That's okay, because one of the next things we'll talk about is because we're setting up this network connection, I can select the hierarchy. How cool is that? So I can essentially select this clavicle and select all the anims from here all the way down to the tips of the fingers, even the ones that are hidden. I can also select the rig. Now, again, why did we set up separate rigs? Well, so we can animate the body, and then later on, when we got the body movement down, we can then focus on the head, and without keying over that certain element, we can just select the head or the face, or select the hat. Pretty cool stuff. In addition to that, you have mirroring. So I'm going to really quickly move this up here. And I think it's hilarious to have something like that. I'm going to grab all of these controls here and just go, and I think I'm also going to mirror all these. So if I go to mirror, let's go to mirror. I'm going to do mirror selected, and it's automatically going to get all those to rotate. But the best part is if I rotate these up, and then I were to select both of these clavicles here, I can actually mirror the hierarchy on both sides. Doot, 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 doot. And there we are. Now you can also go to the default pose like so, and you also have the ability to switch. Okay, so for anything that's FK or IK related, you have switching modes. So if I wanted to, I could just do switch only, which will go from IK to FK or FK to IK, or I could do align switch, boop, which automatically aligns. If you're in FK mode, it'll align the pull vector and your IK anim to your wrist anim in the case of the arm, and this pull vector to the elbow. So it knows exactly where to put this stuff, and you can do the same thing here. So for instance, if I wanted to have some fun and do pull vector lock and include some stretching here and rotate this out and, all sorts of stuff. Toe pivot, no, not toe pivot, toe lift, sorry. And then I were to run this script again, switch, align switch, boop. Seamless matching. It even matches the stretch mode. How sick is that? And really quick, one of the things that it also includes is Control-Shift-W. Control-Shift-W is the quick way of doing the align switch. So Control-Shift-W, Control-Shift-W, Control-Shift-W. Pretty cool stuff. All right. Let's see if there's anything else here. Multi-Constraint. Let's talk about multi-constraint super quick. So, of course, you have space switching involved, and the the marking menu actually has an option to move this stuff around. So if I go here and I say want to have my hat go from the head, which it's currently on right now, let's see, and go to the hand instead, then I could just do this, where I could go multi-constraint, and it only works on anims that have a multi-constraint on it. So if I go to multi-constraint, brings this up, I can choose where it's going to go. This is the left hand. I'm going to align snap it, and watch what happens to the data on the right here. Boop. You can see that parent 2 switches, and it automatically is now connected to the hand. And if I move this around, oh no, he's bald. But he can at least say top of the morning to you. So that's about it for Mars and its modularity. It may not be connected to a tool per se, but I think its limits are exponentially greater than what it was before. So if you have any comments about this, or want to ask me a few questions about how to script a module like this, feel free to leave a comment in the section below. And as always, I am Cody Wilcoxon, and I will see you next time. Ta-ta.